Hello, everyone. I'm going to come on here and talk about the Christ consciousness energy on Earth. Some of my opinions, some of my takes on it, and some of the things that resonate with me about this type of energy and how it's, evolved here on Earth. And it's very interesting to me. A lot of people talk about the Christ consciousness energy. I enjoy connecting with that energy, and it's pretty fun, to talk about it. And also, I have Jesus here with me, and he's probably going to say a few words, about it. And I'd love to see what he has to say as well. But yeah, So first off, I would like to talk about the divine intervention. So, obviously Source has been intervening here on Earth for a long time. And a lot of the times, Source was probably letting things play out, humans' free will. That's how it is here on Earth. We manifested our own destiny. We did our own things over hundreds of thousands of years, and a lot of those systems are starting to crumble now. But a lot of them are based more on control and things like that. And the cool thing is that this Christ consciousness energy has been here since forever. Like it's such an ancient energy. And a lot of people associate that energy with Jesus, which is really awesome too. But when Jesus incarnated here on Earth, he was one of the ascended masters who really fully embodied this energy, the Christ consciousness energy. And he was able to embody it fully and activate those particles in his vessel, like fully. Also, I feel like he, expanded his consciousness in this energy here on Earth so much that he was able to give these particles to his disciples and things like that, part of that energy to them. He was able to give, part of his energy and part of this Christ consciousness energy to some of the disciples and so forth, stuff like that. And then over, thousands of years, these last 2,000 years, these divine particles, they've been, multiplying over and over again and reincarnating here. Those ascended masters and these apostles and these Christ consciousness particles are still here on Earth. And I almost kind of look into it as a climax. This energy, this Christ consciousness energy, has been building ever since Jesus's time, and even before that. But during that time, when Jesus incarnated, there was a big divine intervention. And God had a plan, or Source had a plan to, really make his statement on, what's been happening here on Earth. And that was the start of it, I feel, of one of the big energy waves coming forth, which is really cool. I kind of look into it as like an explosion of light energy here on Earth. Even though Earth back then was a lot different, during Jesus's time, it was still very closed off, and a lot of people were very, very unawake. It was an explosion of light energy, and it changed the Earth for a long time. And I know, Jesus has said this to me several times, that many of his teachings were convoluted and misinterpreted, and so it's not, everything doesn't go as planned on Earth as it always does, but he still did have a huge impact, and his energy is still around here a lot on Earth, which is awesome. Yes, and people from Jesus's time, some of his disciples and some of his followers, they've been reincarnating here on Earth and carrying some of this Christ consciousness energy or particles with them. And I think that's really cool. And also, there's a lot of soul groups that are connected with Jesus, also connected with this Christ consciousness, and other ascended masters that are connected with this Christ consciousness energy, many of them. And they, all work together in certain soul groups and similar soul groups. So there are certain soul groups that, different ascended masters, look over and watch over. I know Jesus, he helps watch over these Christ consciousness soul groups of people that are in these certain soul groups of around 10 people or something like that. And that he helps, look after them and make sure they're all right. And that energy helps them throughout their lifetimes, the Christ consciousness energy. And also, there's other people that are moving in to work with the Christ consciousness soul groups or with that type of energy. And there's people that are star seeds from different places that weren't aware of this type of Christ consciousness energy on Earth. So they're still now starting to connect with it more and starting to work with it more. So, for example, a lot of this Christ consciousness energy is connected to a lot of Palladian energy, I've noticed, because Jesus is Palladian, and a lot of people that have this energy around them have been Palladium, such as the goddess Lakshmi. I feel she has had a lot of Christ consciousness energy with her. So I do feel it's connected with the Palladians, which is really cool. And for example, I've been blue avian many, many times, and my soul probably wasn't as aware of this type of energy. So as it's been incarnating on Earth a few hundred times, it's looking over there and it's wanting to be more part of that type of energy. So for like with me, I'm not a part of the Christ consciousness energy. Like I didn't incarnate with that, but I can still connect with it. And in future lifetimes, I can maybe even move into a different soul group that has that type of energy if I want to, or it depends on my vibrational frequency or where my soul wants to go. But it's very interesting to see how that is, and there's a lot of people that are just already a part of that energy, that Christ consciousness energy. And I have seen a few times where Jesus helps implant some of his energy into some people that incarnate here, his own energy. And that really helps people out a lot here on Earth when he does that, because some people really need it. Some people really do. And it is very interesting connecting with different, ascended masters like Mary Magdalene and Mother Mary. I loved connecting with Mother Mary, and she has a lot of divine mother energy, and I've just always loved, the divine mother energy. It just feels so good. It's that heart energy. It's just amazing. Yes, and I was reading up on a few things, and it was really interesting. I was reading a little bit about the Holy Spirit, and I encountered this energy through a Christ consciousness meditation, and I really enjoyed it. And I just read up a few things about it, and it says the Holy Spirit is God's power in action, his active force. He sends out his spirit by projecting his energy to any place to accomplish his will. So in my own words, I interpret that just kind of as divine intervention of source. And I really think that's cool. And, this energy has been building here on Earth for a long time. And this is kind of a climax in the history of Earth, of a turning point of where we're actually finally getting somewhere, it feels like. And yeah, it's really cool to think about how this energy's been here for a long time, and people don't necessarily think about it in that way all the time. But things have been here on Earth for like hundreds and hundreds of thousands of years. So there's a lot of ascended masters that have carried this energy forth and mastering the human condition. And one last thing I would like to say about this is Jesus has been bringing a lot more angels to Earth. And I notice even on my team, I have many more angels than I did last year, or a few years before, like twice as many on my team, because we need the extra help. And Source has been sending many, many angels as well. Jesus has been bringing a lot of his angels here that have been working with him. And I think that's really cool that we have a lot more beings and angels that are helping us out, and ETs. So, yeah. I would love to see what you guys think about it. And, let me know in the comments, and I'm going to go and see what Jesus has to say about this. He's saying many of us have been experiencing this raise of frequency throughout this lifetime, throughout their energy, this raise of vibrational frequency on Earth in general. He's saying it doesn't feel the best at times because that's why it has to be done gradually. If we take in all of this energy at once, it's not good for us. It would be too intense, and we'd probably go crazy. So Jesus is going on to talk about the energy here on earth that is emitting from source and the building of energy from Christ consciousness. It is causing us to purge the old energy from our vessels, and it doesn't feel good sometimes. Feels good after, but during, when you're purging the energy, it doesn't feel good at all when you're purging this. I've noticed it's been happening a lot more recently, and it doesn't feel good. And we get breaks too. I'm very looking forward to that, in the next few months, once we get a break from this type of energy. He's talking about the ushering in of new souls, of new angels, of new energy here on earth. He says we can't keep going on like this here on earth. It's been too long. Many of you have been asking for this. Many souls have been asking for this change here on earth for many millennia. He's saying this Christ consciousness energy is an energy that is part of the new earth. And many ascended masters have embodied this energy in the past, this new earth energy, trying to show us the way of where we need to go here on earth, what's best for us here on earth is to embody this type of energy or to master the human condition. They've tried to show us this many times. He said they have shown us and they are currently showing us and will continue to show us the way on the new earth. Many of these beings that have helped us in the past, different gods and different goddesses and different ascended masters. I'm feeling a very sense of peace and stillness from Jesus, a lot of presence here in the present moment. A lot of patience. He has so much patience with people. I feel like it's regarding patience to, what's happening here on earth and how things are going and maybe how slow things are going. But he said it's important to have patience and peace in these moments. And make sure you're in the present moment and don't get too caught up in where the new order's going or where the future's going or what things have happened in the past. It is very important to stay here in the present moment. He's likening Earth as an illusion and this experience for many of us and the things that have happened in the past with his past lifetimes and the things that may happen in the future. What we can do is stay here in this moment, which is the truest and most sacred moment of all. He says he wants us to look at the animals, the trees, the nature. This will help us, be in the present moment. Seeing a dog, playing or doing something, it's always in the moment. Try to enjoy the moments that you do have. I feel them shifting a little bit and saying, focusing on what we want to create is here in the present moment. What we want to create in the future, don't even look at it as that almost. Bring that energy into the present moment of what that creation of that light energy of what you want to create. You can bring that into the present moment of it is already done. That childlike energy, that passionate energy, you can bring that into the present moment. Even though you may not have what you need or what you want here in this present moment, focusing on that energy and of what is all that is, that source energy is truly all that we need. He's saying taking a deep breath and just letting go the stress that we have during this time, that we've built up during this time in many of our vessels. We really need to let it go. It's in many of our chest. It's purging throughout us this energy of like pressure and stress on ourselves that we need to be doing something or that we need to be going somewhere. You say this has been happening on earth forever. We no longer need to do this anymore. He said we need to manifest from the present moment through this energy of the heart in the now. I love that book, The Power of Now. It's really teaches you about the present moment a lot. He says, once we let go of the past and future, and even what we're holding on to in the present moment, the stress, the pressure that we put onto us, once we let go of that, life becomes much more enjoyable and becomes more at ease and more comfortable. He said, there's a balance that we need to have, of course, of going where we want to. Like, if we want to get somewhere, we need to have a push and a pull, of course, but sometimes there's a time to stay back and chill out, and sometimes there's a time to go. Now is not one of those times that we need to keep pushing here on earth. It's a time of rest, a time of peace, a time of patience. He said there will be a time when we do, go forward with things, our passions and different things. He's talking about the calm before the storm, or the deep breath before the plunge. Just, you need to have that balance before you step off and do things all the time. And you need to, purge and release some of these older energies that we've been building up in some of our vessels before we step off and do certain things. I feel that's most of everything he has to say. I feel a lot of love coming from him towards all of you and towards me as well. And he's really thanking me for relaying some of these messages. He's saying, even though I feel like maybe I'm not relaying them in the best way possible that I could, it's still relaying his energy through these videos. And if you like the video, please subscribe. I'm booking more readings now, and if you would like to go down in the description, you can see where I have my email and where you can contact me. And I have my Facebook group down in the description as well. But if you would like to leave a comment and subscribe, that would be greatly appreciated. Thank you very much. Bye.